Welcome back because I feel like him. This is your boy Nelson Drew. Please like and subscribe. Man, Diddy is doing it again and again. As these court cases come around the corner, is I think day 30. But I'm going to touch on what was talked about recently. Diddy is out here getting exposed with audio, recorded phone calls. It's amazing, man. Listen to his songs. I heard some suspect stuff, some stuff that was sus, but I never thought that some of this stuff would come to light because some of the stuff didn't age well. Sean Combs has interacted with a lot of people at these white parties. Sean Combs has networked with a lot of people in the corporate world. I mean, Ciroc. I mean, he had his own restaurant, clothing line. He had the world in his oyster, and he had these amazing parties. He had the party, then he had the white party on Breakfast Club. There was a couple people saying that, man, some what happens at these white parties, we just don't know. And they were kind of being discreet and innuendos and trying to say it. Even comedians like Jamie Foxx would say that when he goes to these parties, he sees certain things in these certain rooms, and then the list goes on. But now we're getting to and get enough courage so people are coming up and testifying against Diddy, whether it be consensual or not. But we're going to get into today about what Diddy has called his girlfriend. Okay, his girlfriend at the time, and I'm not going to say her name because it's not about her name. It's what he called her. Okay, now back in the '80s, there was a crack pandemic. Okay, it was bad. If you saw New Jack City, that kind of depicted how the '80s was, and crack was just on the streets of New York. I know the fact that Diddy's father was in the streets too, and I think he pushed weight. He used to, sell drugs as well. So a lot of that Diddy saw. I mean, Diddy grew up very lavish. He would wear mink coats, and his mom would dress him very well. And I remember he had a paper route. Just listen to his bio, but some stuff you just pick up as you grow up. So the crap in the '80s, it was really bad, man. People were dying left and right, and then the drug dealers were coming up because they were selling crack, cocaine, and the reason why I bring this up because for some reason, somehow, some way, this girlfriend that Diddy had, he had multiple women, and this girl, she testified, and she was saying how some of this stuff that she was doing with Diddy, she was consensual, but it was kind of forced. So one thing that Diddy did call this girl was a crack pipe. Now, people have nicknames. They have nicknames for their significant other. It might be honey, it might be sugar, it might be baby. Just little simple stuff, cupcake. But crack pipe, come on, man. Like, that's crazy. That's wild, right? I'll listen to some of the audio of some of the playback. Now, remind you, Diddy's case is not like it's not publicized. So if you remember O.J. Simpson's, every day you saw his live court case unfold. You saw the prosecutor, you saw you saw the lawyers, right? You saw the Kardashian, you saw uh, Johnny Cochran. Okay, you saw all of those cross examinations, and you saw all of that live, right? But this is a civil. I think it's more of a civil case. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please comment down below. Um, you know, but it's more private, right? And so when you see these reports, all the reports are given by reporters who were inside. They have access, but when they come outside, they come and tell about the details. And then there's an animation, so there's someone in there actually drawing what they see. And whoever's doing those drawings, man, are awesome because they got Diddy's animation in his hair because he got gray hair now. They got all different type of images of the people testifying and all that good stuff. It is so cool. It is awesome. But with that being said, we can't really see real time how they're getting questioned, their octave, what are they, what are they actually, questions they're asking. All we can go by is what the reporters say when they come out. So I've been listening to TMZ. I've been listening to other reporters, and I've come to my conclusion that some of them are pretty accurate, and I want to see if they line up. But this audio I heard of Diddy talking to his girlfriend at the time, he basically was listening, and he listened to I'm sorry, he wasn't listening. He was talking to her. He was talking to her. When he was talking to her, he was basically checking up on her. And this audio, oh my gosh, man, it's kind of like a soothing. His voice is soothing, but it's kind of scary in a way. So he's saying, "Hey, girl, how you doing? Man, we had a dream. Let's go ahead and make this happen, right? Go ahead and make it happen." But he's telling her about something very sexual, but he's not saying what it actually is. He's kind of projecting it. Then he's saying in this audio, I didn't hear, when I found out that you threw up, that was, he said, wait a minute, hold up. So when the girl threw up, he acknowledged it on the call. But then, how you want to end a call and say certain things. And so he called her a crack pipe. Like, how was that? Like, if for what he said, because he said love at the end of his audio too, and his audio message too. But when you say crack pipe, like that just messes up the whole whatever you said beforehand. If I'm had a significant other, right, and they're talking to me, and they're saying, well, I hope you have a good day, make sure you drink your water and hope you feel better. And wait a minute, I know that you threw up, but you know what, I'm gonna call you my little crack pipe. It's like, where are you going with that? What is that? Wait a minute. Crack pipe is something that you smoke and you get high off of. I don't know what his intentions was, but that's not good for me to you comparing me to something that killed people in the 80s. Like, what? Right? And then there's a pipe, right? I don't know if you remember New Jack City. Pookie had the crack pipe in his hand. It was like a glass ball with a glass stem, and he would take the lighter and he would light it, and then he would put it to his mouth and he would suck up the cocaine and he would get the high smoke. That's a crack pipe. Diddy's wilding out here, man. I don't know what type of stuff he was on. Maybe he was on crack, but man. And then she testified too. This is in favor of Diddy, with these reports that the girl was consensually doing these things, with other escorts, and she was going to other parties with iconic rappers doing the same thing. And so some of this is swinging Diddy's way, but overall picture doesn't look good for Diddy. I'm telling you right now. And I wish Diddy, would testify. Just imagine Sean Combs pleading his case and saying his version of it, and pretty much bringing everybody with him, right? This is kind of like Nino Brown, right? Nino Brown, if you remember New Jack City, he actually said, I am not the president of the CNB. And he pointed to someone in the crowd. He said, he is, right? He said, I'm bringing down this whole operation. I'm bringing everybody with me, okay? That's how I feel like Diddy is right now. I think Diddy needs to testify and say his version and bring everybody with him. Because everybody testifying to get him. You had Kanye West trying to get in, but he didn't testify. There was reports that Brad Pitt, right, came in, but Brad Pitt, I think that was bogus, right? You had, you got Cassidy, you got Kid Cudi, right? Everybody is coming in and saying everything, and you got members from Danity Kane coming in, right? And who else is going to come in, right? Everybody's coming out of what, you know who I want to see come in? and he didn't go to the white parties, but 50 Cent will make everybody laugh, right? 50 Cent will expose Diddy in a minute. He'll probably twist around that, hey, Diddy trying to take me shopping, man. I wasn't on that. You know what I mean? Bro, Diddy is going down. And man, I'm a Bad Boy fan. I'm gonna be honest. I was a Bad Boy fan. I was singing his songs. You know, Is This the End by Twister Puffy. That is my joint. But it sounds like it's the end for Diddy. I'll be shocked if Diddy gets out of this mess because it's people coming out of everywhere. I'm talking CEOs of companies. I'm talking people who were working with him inside his house. I'm talking about girlfriends that we didn't even know he had. We talking about male escorts. We talking about musical groups, right? Now just imagine who's next, right? You know who else I really want to see to get on the witness stand? Mary J. Mary J. Blige. Okay, Mary J. been with Diddy since day one. Mary J. was there when Jodeci was under P. Diddy. Okay, I want to see Mary J. get on the stands because we know she was at those white parties. We know she was doing drugs with Diddy. We seen it with the videos. Okay, we know that Diddy was paying her. But you know what? Some people are smart. Say hi, son. You know what? People are smart. People like to withdraw from it. So Mary is probably smart enough to know, saying, "You ain't gonna mess up my paper, right? I don't care how much I know. Shoot, I'm on the power. I got, ties with 50 now. She's smart. I'm not getting involved with something that's gonna be detrimental to my career and my personal life. No more stress, no more pain, right? But that's just what we want to see. Now we're greedy as outsides looking in, like we're fans, because we like, ooh, we want to know all the tea, we want to know all the gossip, right? But these families, man, just take your fandom out of it for a minute. Think about these families, even the Combs family, right? What the mother might be thinking right now, even though she was involved in the white parties, right? But think about his daughters, right? Nobody talks about that. And I'm sure this is going to get a lot of publicity, a lot of press, and there might be a whole documentary when it comes to his twin daughters, talking about his son, I'll be sure, and his son. Like all this ties in, man. Now, if Diddy goes down, they're gonna live off of his money forever. And they're gonna, this is, and I hate to say it like this, but the fact that Diddy's going through this helps them because they get to talk about their side of the story and people are going to eat that up and they're going to feed off of that, right? But man, you're talking about an empire. You're talking about a kingdom, a bad boy kingdom that's about to go crashing out because of one man and a bunch of people who want to expose him. Once again, it's just like with Bill Cosby, right? Everybody don't equivalate this, but think about it. When Bill Cosby got to a certain peak, a certain point, they found something on him that happened 20, 30 years later. Kelly kind of did that to himself, right? The whole video and all that, but he got to a certain peak and they got to get him, right? Now it's Diddy. Diddy is doing the same stuff. Now, only thing about Diddy, and I'm not going to his defense, right? Because some people had consensual, but these were grown adults. There was no children involved, nobody underage with Diddy. Okay, a lot of this stuff was consensual. Now, a lot of this stuff wasn't against people's wills, right? Okay, there's certain misogynistic things you can do, manipulations techniques you can do, and it sounds like Diddy was doing just to make this stuff happen. But in the eyes of the public, sex trafficking, it's disgusting, man. I'm sorry, right? But was Diddy really doing that type of stuff, right? So that's why with some of these witnesses, like his girlfriend, he called a crack pipe, gets on and say yes, some of the stuff was consensual. It kind of is swinging for court in court purposes, swinging his way. Okay, man. I'm gonna stay tuned and get more information for you guys when it comes to Diddy's information. But just want to get on here, man. If you hear about the crack pipe, that's crazy. Then please don't start calling your significant others or your girlfriend or boyfriend crack pipe. twisted somehow, some ways to make it sound good. All right. I don't know. That don't sound good to me. Crack pipe, man. I just want to get on here real quick and give you a good update. I will be back on here talking about Diddy, man, because there's so many different layers, so many different audios, and you probably, hey, man, if you tuned in, man, this is like the court. This is the case of this year, man. Like this is of the 2020s, man, because first it was OJ, now it was Diddy, man. Like everybody's tuned in from ABC to NBC to CBS, MTV. Is MTV on the board? Excuse me. VHS, all the little networks underneath, including ours, man. We tuned in because I want to see what's going to happen. And then I'll leave y'all with this: the juror, right? They're trying to discriminate on that part. How there's the only black juror getting kicked out, right? Why is that, right? And because of the differences and agreements that the juror had. There's so many things about this, man, that just smells foul, man. But I'm going to, me personally, pray for the Combs family. I always say peace and blessings because with that, man, it's always forgiveness. You gotta forgive, or Christ will forgive you. I don't want to start preaching on here, but on the other side, I pay for the Ventura family. I pay for the Kid Cudi family. I pray for that. Everybody gets justice where they deserve, man. Because nobody deserves to go against their will. Man, Diddy, come on, man. I used to like, Christopher Wallace is my favorite rapper, man. And, just imagine if he was alive today and what his testimony would be, right? What Craig Mack's testimony would be, right? Shoot. Mary J. get on the stand, but what about Faith, right? Faith, I know she got some stuff with her too. I can't wait to see who else is going to come out. As a fan, I'm with the T as a fan, but as a human, as a man, I wish that justice is served rightfully. Okay, and if Diddy get locked up for life, that's what he deserves. That's what he deserves, man. But I pray for his daughters. I pray for his sons, and I hope they learn a lesson. That whatever is done in the dark will come into the light. All right. All right, man. Please like and subscribe. Because I feel like it, we have our Instagram too as well. Please go on and we got our content on there as well. And Twitter's coming up next. We're gonna make sure we get our stuff on there. But yo, man, Diddy, is this the end, bro? Is this the end? All right, man. Until next time, like and subscribe. This is your boy Nelson, aka Nell at 2425. All right, peace.
How do you stop it?